Hello, language learners. My name is Melissa. Today's lesson will guide you up a 5-tiered ladder to master 2 essential English tenses, the past simple and the present perfect. We'll explore the key differences, examples, and typical mistakes. Get ready to ascend this language ladder with me. First up, the basic structure. The simple past tense is formed by adding D or ED to the end of a word, like I worked yesterday. Yesterday is finished. Or for irregular verbs, the spelling might change, like I drank some water. The present perfect is formed with either has or have, plus the past participle, as in I've worked all day. Today is not finished. The verbs has and have are both present tense forms of the verb to have, but they're used with different subjects. Has is used with the third person singular. So he has, she has, it has, or any singular noun. The student has, my mom has. Some examples would be he has a new bicycle. She has 3 siblings. The dog has a loud bark. My phone has a cracked screen. Have is used with first and second person singular subjects. I, you. Plural subjects, we, they. Any plural nouns, students, birds, cars. Some examples would be, I have a book to read. You have a beautiful voice. We have a meeting at 10 a.m. They have tickets to the concert. The children have toys to play with. Let's break it down. Past simple, subject plus past simple. Present perfect, subject plus has or have, plus the past participle. Here are some examples. I walked to the store. Past simple. I've walked 3 miles today. Present perfect. Do you see the contraction? In English, it's more fluent to contract words when possible. English speakers often struggle with when to use the past simple versus the present perfect tense. A key factor in determining which tense to use lies in whether the time period described is finished or unfinished. Let's take a look at finished time in the simple past. The past simple refers to a specific time in the past that is clearly over, finished time, or when the time that an action occurred is important. Some key words you might hear used with the simple past would be words like yesterday, last week, last month, last year, in 1990, 3 hours ago, on Monday. Here are some examples. I visited the museum last year. She called me 2 hours ago. They traveled to France in 2018. All of these examples refer to things that happen in a specific time in the past. Now let's explore unfinished time with the present perfect. The present perfect refers to a period of time that began in the past and continues to the present or affects the present. With the present perfect, the exact time of the action is not important. Some typical keywords you might hear with the present perfect tense would be words like today, this week, this month, this year, so far, recently, since, followed by a point in time, or for, followed by a duration. Here are some examples. I have lived in this city for 10 years. She has traveled to 3 countries this year. They have been friends since childhood. In these examples, there is a connection from the past to the present. Let me give you another example. If we're talking about the current year, we would say, for example, this year has been an exciting year. This year's not finished, so we use the present perfect tense. But when you're 1 year into the future, you would change it to the simple past because it's a completed action. So you would say, last year was an exciting year. A very common mistake is when a time expression is used with the present perfect. For example, you would not say, I have been to Paris last week. But you could say, I have been to Paris. Or you could even say, I went to Paris last week. Understanding whether a time period is finished or unfinished will help you decide between using the past simple or the present perfect tense. The context and the specific time markers used in the sentence will guide your choice. We use the present perfect for life experiences. Why the present perfect? Life experiences are actions or events that occurred at an unspecific time in the past. Since the exact time isn't emphasized, we use the present perfect. The focus is on the experience itself rather than when it happened. For you and me, we would use the present perfect tense because we are still alive. So if you are speaking about somebody who is no longer with us, we would use the simple past. Again, we form the present perfect tense by using has or have, plus the past participle. Have you ever visited New York? Has she ever eaten sushi? The ever keyword. The adverb ever is frequently used with questions in the present perfect to inquire about an experience at any time in a person's life. Examples. Have you ever driven a motorcycle? Have you ever sung karaoke? Has she ever met a celebrity? Relevance to the present. By asking about someone's experiences using the present perfect, you're acknowledging that while the experience happened in the past, its relevance or impact might be felt in the present. For example, I've been to Canada. While the visit occurred in the past, the speaker's knowledge or memories of Canada are present. So, what happens when a conversation begins with the present perfect tense and during the course of the conversation, a specific time is introduced? Well, if during the conversation, a specific time is introduced or becomes relevant, we typically shift the conversation to the simple past tense. The time or when it happened now becomes important. For example, have you ever been to Rome? Present perfect. Unspecified time. Yes, I visited Rome last summer. Past simple. Now we know the specific time. When discussing life experiences, it's crucial to distinguish between finished and unfinished actions. Finished. We have a clear, defined endpoint, usually marked by time. When this is the case, the past simple is appropriate. I visited Paris in 2019. Unfinished. If there's no clear endpoint or the action could still continue, we use the present perfect. For example, I have visited Paris several times, and I might visit again. Remember, the present perfect in the context of life experiences isn't limited to positive occurrences. It can be neutral or negative. For example, I've missed the train before. She has never lost her phone. So to summarize, the present perfect emphasizes experience over specific times. When detailing life experiences, it's about the fact that an event has taken place, not when it occurred. But when the time becomes relevant, there is a shift to the simple past. Let's take a look at the prepositions for and since. The distinction between for and since lies in their representation of time. For denotes a duration, while since pinpoints a commencement. For emphasizes the span of time. Examples: I've been jogging for 30 minutes every day. She has practiced the violin for 7 years. They've been chatting for 2 hours straight. Since indicates when a certain period began. Examples: I've been vegan since 2015. We haven't seen snow since December. She's felt happier since her vacation. Let's look at verb tense compatibility. The present perfect and the words for and since go hand in hand, especially when describing scenarios that originate in the past but linger or influence the present. For example, I've cherished that book since my childhood. The feeling began in my childhood, and it continues today. They've been hiking enthusiasts for 3 years. Their enthusiasm began 3 years ago, and it still remains strong. With the past simple, for can be incorporated to detail a past duration. Some examples would be, he traveled through Europe for 6 months. The entire travel experience belongs to the past. She played soccer for 5 years as a child. This period of playing soccer occurred solely in the past. Conversely, since isn't customarily paired with the past simple for ongoing situations, as past simple refers to completed actions. At times, since can follow a past simple action, but this action is viewed as a starting point, not a continuation. Some examples would be, I've loved spicy foods since the first time I tried a chili pepper. Here, the initial trial of the chili pepper indicates the beginning of my love for spicy food. He's been more confident since he won the debate competition. The victory in the debate serves as the starting point for his boosted confidence. In summary, for is your go-to for durations. Since zeroes in on the initial moments. While for can be paired with the past simple, since aligns more with signifying beginnings relevant to present scenarios or ongoing actions. The present perfect often shows how a past action affects the present moment. For example, I've left my keys at home, so now I can't drive. She's already eaten lunch, so she's not hungry. So Americans often prefer past simple in casual conversations. For example, I just finished my homework. Common in American English. I've just finished my homework. Formally correct. Wow, we have finished climbing the language ladder together. Remember, it's all about context of finished or unfinished actions, specific time references, and the present connection. If you have any questions, leave a comment below and I'll be happy to help. Hit that like button if you found this helpful, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any content. Until next time, happy learning.